This is Lasmelan, download the game, and this is his speedrun time. Pretty bad, huh? Last place, time to make it even laster. So starting off, I needed to learn how to speedrun epicwar 1. Now, I took a look at Lasmelan's run, it didn't go so well, so I took another look at the world record, took some notes, and then started playing. So starting off with the first level, it was actually pretty simple. Just save up 40 mana and attack the castle. Now, something I want to mention is that the video you're watching is playing at 2.5x speed, so that helps with the experience, I guess. And on to level 2, it's very similar. Just save up some mana and goblin spam until you win. Now, here you see this guy actually killing all my push, this way making me have to waste some time on re-rushing, but yeah, after several minutes I managed to take it down. And I unlocked the dwarf. Now the dwarf is pretty much a carry for the next several levels. For this one you can see that I save up some mana and start the push with the dwarves and some hobbits to do some additional damage, but this guy decides to kill my push.
We have you 4-1.
I like those odds.
And continuing with yet another push, after 10 minutes of struggling, level 3 is down. Now, level 4 is pretty much the same one. I again lose my push, but just re-rush, same rush, and take the crown. Now with the upgrades, I actually upgrade my EXP gain, which is something Lasmelan couldn't do because of the version he was playing, so it makes sense for his time to be so low on the list. But also remember that he's a llama. Now I'm beating up using the same strategy and unlocking the wizard, which is actually pretty good. Now, new strategy involved early game wizard defend and then push with the hobbits and dwarves. Now, wizards are really good to defend against large chunks of units that don't necessarily have high HP, but that's why I have my crossbow for. And here you can see actually a dragon. If you actually encounter one of those, you should start sending hobbits. That way the dragon will attack the hobbits and not your wizard. Now onto the push, just hobbit and dwarf spam for the win, taking that level. And yeah, that strategy is pretty much the same for the next level too. And for the level after that, here I'm maxing my mana, so levels will be faster. I got a new unit, which is the angel, pretty much the strongest unit in the game. Nothing can stop it really, other than maybe an enemy dragon or demon, which is their version of my angel. But here you can clearly see my angel 1v1ing their demon. Now again decking the castle with a hobbit and a dwarf span. Now maxing out mana stuff, mana gain, and yeah. For this level, literally nothing changed, just angel spam. For the next one, guess what? Angel spam, but this time I have a dragon and an elf. Now the dragon is pretty much a small angel. It's a big unit which does a lot of damage and has a lot of HP. And the elves are like better hobbits for taking down the castle because they're faster, do more damage, and yeah, they're just another spam unit. Here the next level you can see I actually got some damage dealt by a demon, but yeah, I rushed with the same rush that I've been doing for the past 3 or 4 levels now, so next level, level 13, absolutely the same. For level 14 I actually got some upgrades on my arrows, so I have some max elemental arrows which do an explosion, which does a lot of damage by itself, but the ending is the same rush. Now there are some important upgrades like maxing out the dragon, my arrows, and a special ability which should actually do significant damage to the boss battle. Now here you can see how all the elemental arrows are exploding, that way doing so much damage. You can see here on the demon and the dragon absolutely evaporate. While I'm building up my push, here I actually start spamming hobbits, elves and dwarves. But that's not going to be all. The strategy actually differs from now to the boss battle, and you will see in a bit. You can, I guess, hear the boss, you will see it in a bit. Spoiler alert, is the same as the castle. Does a lot of damage, but as you can see now, I'm spamming only hobbits. You basically don't want to waste any mana, you just want to get your angels and dragons up as fast as possible. So hobbits is really the best spam to be able to do some damage and slow down the boss. Now here the arrows come into play, which is a major part of my damage. You can see the parabola I'm using for the special arrows to actually explode underneath the boss, that way doing a lot of damage, more than just passing through him. And I actually defeated pretty much halfway through the track, and yeah, finishing off with a final time of 1 hour 55 minutes and 50 seconds. Here I upgrade everything, including the unit I haven't even gotten, and the 4 useless upgrades in the middle. So I did beat the melon by a significant amount of time. So yeah, oh my god. So yeah, that should be it, right? Right? Well, apparently Lasmelan has also speedrun epicwar too. So I got to do that now. I know it's gonna be really fun. Yes, that really was necessary. First though, I want to thank the Sammy G for his epicwar 2 speedrun guide. It really helped out a lot. And another thing to mention is that the video is playing at 4 times speed for convenience sake. So now we can get started on the speedrun. So remember what I did at the start? Yeah, that unlocked me dwarves and hobbits. They are really important for the first few levels. As you can see, this is basically the rush I'm going to be using. For level 2, it is the same, just with more dwarves. And here comes level 3. It's a bit more interesting. You'll see why in a bit after my rush dies and I have to surrender. Yeah, now I re-rush and the RNG is on my side, so I win here after 10 minutes of struggling again on level 3. Level 4 is slightly different. We are facing elves here instead of humans, but everything else is exactly the same. Level 5 has also the same rush, but I'd say it's the hardest one yet. And level 6 is actually different. Facing orcs here, apparently they're so weak they can't even beat hobbit spam. And now unlocking elf protectors. The next levels use the same strategy, which revolves around them. It's pretty RNG heavy, not gonna lie. And here on to level 10, with a different strategy against orcs. It's the dryad spam strategy. It is much slower, but more safer. So I guess I do prefer that. I really hate RNG strategies. On to level 12 with the same dryad spam. I think why it's so good is that it manages to defend against revenge waves, unlike elf protectors who are really RNG dependent on the revenge waves. And for level 13, the guide actually says to spam a lot of units at once. And to be safer, I decided to spam only hobbits and elf protectors. Now that really isn't the best strategy, you'll see why. Just in a moment here, when the RNG hits, the revenge wave appears. So maybe I did have to spam some archers too for extra DPS. And here my push was actually successful, which thank god after 30 minutes or something on this level. Again, with that dryad strategy, I think why it's so good here is because the revenge waves don't have an angel to wreck my strategy on the spot. And this is much safer than going F protectors, so that's good. Ah yes, level 16. Started off pretty easy, continued very chaotically, and ended up with a frog. A pretty perfect level, if you ask me. For the sake of the speedrun though, I had to defeat the frog, I'm sorry guys. And that's the last level of epicwar 1, the second to last level of epicwar 2. And it has a catch. Here I have my forest guardians. They are titans that each faction has. And like again, each faction compares. The elves are the best. You can see how strong it is. And defeating the castle right now, getting the boss out, it really is very similar to the first game. Is this any familiar? And I actually defeated pretty much halfway through the track. Yeah. And now the last battle. Now, if you take a look at my time, I'm doing actually pretty good, especially when compared to others. So let's just jump to the boss battle already. Gotta have that cool animation. There is something really wrong here. I will give you some time to figure it out. So if you take a look at the boss's head bar, you see that it actually spikes up a bit. Now that's actually because the Lord of Hell has abs. No, not these abs. These abs, which stand for absorption. And if you take a closer look at the icons, you see that he absorbs range and magic. And if you look at my constant stream of magic, you see me surrendering the level. This time going into the boss battle, knowing how to win it, I completely removed dryads here and replaced them with dragons, that way helping out my forest guardians kill the boss. After a pretty trivial win I guess, I end up with a time of 3 hours, 50 minutes and 31 seconds, managing to beat the melon for a second time. So yeah, this is how I beat Lasmelan at his own game. I hope you had fun and see you in the next one.